Hey y'all, this is Alchemy, and here we talk all things alchemy. And we take the myths out of mysticism, okay? We're gonna kick it on an astrology tip today so we can break this thing down and understand this information in the most practical way that we can, okay? And without, much further ado, we just gonna go ahead and get into these modalities. Yes, that is the topic of discussion, modalities. We're going to talk about the modalities of nature, right? Just our seasons, and also the modalities of astrology and how the two actually speak together real harmoniously. So I'll tell you what happened. What kind of inspired me to do this. I am a Virgo sign. I ain't gonna tell y'all all my tea, but I am a Virgo sign, okay? So most of us kind of learn the initial ideas of astrology by finding out what our sun sign is, right? So it told me a whole lot about Virgo, right? I knew it was an earth sign. I knew it was a feminine sign, right? And I knew it was mutable. And I guess I kind of didn't get why we were talking about modalities like cardinal, mutable, and fixed energies, right? But then it just hit me. It hit me real quick. I was like, well, aren't the seasons kind of like in that same way? So okay, for instance, when we think about the season of spring, April doesn't feel like the same type of spring that we get to in June, right? Because we start out knowing the direction that we're going into the spring season coming out of wintertime. All right, it was cold. So we knew it was warming up, but there might have been a few cool days in between that mix, right? By the time it's at the end of June, child, we ready for the summer. The kids done got out of school. Okay, it's time to get active. All right. So yeah, energy translates differently. So the seasons have its own modality, and we're going to talk about it along with the astrology. We'll go a little bit more in depth too on the astrological natures that we're also experiencing during our seasons. Now we know we have 4 seasons: spring, summer. These signs are telling us, though, these seasons rather are letting us know the proximity that we have to our sun, right? We're going to get more sunlight. We're going to have more of that nurturing sun for our skin, for our plants, okay? We're going to be feeling more active because we have more time in the day, right? We're closer to the sun. Now, the next 2 seasons begin to measure our decline from the sun, right? We go into the fall season, literally. We falling away from the warm temperatures, and then we go into winter. And again, in each one of these seasons, the fall time, as we begin like in Libra season around September, right? It doesn't feel the same as when we exit fall at the end of December. Right? So we're going to just talk about these modalities real quick. But we have 4 seasons rather to nature. Now, what is nature? Nature is the phenomenon of the physical world collectively, like the plants, the animals, the landscape, right? That's nature. That's all of us. It's your environment, right? So we go through 4 different seasons. Now, each season has about 12 weeks in it, right? Roughly about 12 weeks, so about 3 months, right? Now, each month of that season feels different. So every time we go into a season, we started out as cardinal energy, directional energy. Then next we're met with the fixated part of that season, right? Then lastly, we go into the mutable part where we change over into a different season, okay? Now, when it comes to the modality, right? Or the mood of something, right? It's how it's experienced, right? So what we're saying with the modalities of astrology and also of nature, how is springtime experience, all right? Or what's the natures of springtime in this environment? So let's go ahead and kick it off. Let's talk about spring, all right? Let's talk about the first sign that we see in astrology, which is Aries. It's fire energy, okay? And it's cardinal, all right? So we have our first sign, which is directional fire. So spirit here is telling us when we kick off things, all right? When we spring into action, into newness, we have fire. We have focus. We have that inspiration to take over into our dreams and carry them forth, okay? So this is one of the reasons why we consider like Aries a leader. It's a ram, right? It's going to ram right into things, okay? We even speak like that. You know you're an Aries child, okay? They can get shit done. Or at least they know how to start it, all right? Those with really good follow through are going to be able to complete it, right? But hey, the energy knows where it's going. For instance, take my mutable ass son, all right? Child. And I ain't going to tell y'all all my tea. when it comes to me getting things started, Cardinal wants you to direct your focus, right? Well, I have a mutable sun, so I am in a point of, and then it's Virgo too, right? So Virgo likes to analyze. So I like to take information, dissect it, take a little minute, know what I'm saying? Figure some things out, right? But this energy here with Aries is saying, get some fire up under your ass. Go and do what you need to do, okay? So that's the kind of vibe that we're getting with the cardinal energy, okay? And that's the beginning of spring too, right? So just think about it. In actual nature, when we're coming out of the winter time, that's been cold as hell. Okay, well, I'm in the South, so in a winter be it's warm-ish, right? It's getting warm, but it's still cold. It's still cool. We may not be able to like wear the shorts and kind of come out the house without a jacket on, right? So we're still having some cooler temps once we begin spring, because we're closing out the winter cycle. You see what I'm saying? Although you may have a cold day here and there, you still know the direction is warming up. We know the focus is coming back towards the sun, right? The energy is cardinal. The energy is cardinal. It knows the direction that it wants to go to, okay? So that's our first cardinal sign, kicking off our spring season, okay? Now, we're not going to go through the whole, season as we do it. We're just going to go through the modalities, all right? So the next modality that we'll see as far as cardinal energy, okay, it's not in spring. We only have one cardinal energy for spring. The next cardinal energy we'll have will be our summer season, right? When we kick off summer. Simmer. Who got the keys to the bimmer? I like that song. So summertime, okay? We are so close to the sun. It's hot as fuck. Okay? Everybody want a vacation, child. All right? We feeling it. Okay? We like, look. Okay, it's time to relax. It's time to enjoy some things, right? Time to have some more fun, okay? So summer season kicks off in cardinal waters. Interestingly enough, right? We get the first water sign, which is going to be cardinal Cancer, okay? So Cancer's energy in the summertime. Now think about this. This is a water sign. This is the crab, baby, okay? We already at the beach, okay? Some of y'all was at the beach and as soon as it got warm outside, all right? But here, we are definitely into summer. We have the crab kicking us off into gear. So with the cardinal energies of Cancer, we see a directional focus on how we feel. Our emotions. Cancer rules the water, right? Or it's a water sign, right? And here's the thing. I've heard people say this before, like Cancer is one of the stronger signs in the zodiac. So, and again, this ain't... Y'all don't do this thing where we try to like I don't like Aries men or Pisces women are crazy. We ain't doing that, okay? We're not talking about we ain't talking about individuals here. We're just talking about the natures. So when it does come to the nature of Cancer, it's got a lot of strength, because here we can direct our emotions. Spirit is saying, okay, the first time we see a water sign, it's directional with our emotions. So what does that tell us, okay? Well, what is it telling me? Okay, I ain't gonna tell y'all all my tea, but just the other day, I'm like driving. Bruh cut me off. Somebody cut me off. And I'm like, what the this month? You about to I'm about to, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm in my car now. I ain't doing too much of a show. It's just me in there by myself, upset in my feelings, right? And I'm over here just going and going and going. And then I had to like collect myself a little bit, okay, and say, you know what? You can choose violence, which I didn't. Okay, don't choose violence, y'all. Don't choose. We ain't about that life over here. We really not. I got a Libra moon, child. But I ain't gonna tell y'all all my tea. But that being said, I had to really kind of put the focus into where I wanted my emotions to go. You see what I'm saying? I couldn't let them waters just flow and go deeper. And I didn't want to. I wanted to redirect my energy. And I had the capability to do that. Cancer said so, okay? The first water sign we see is directional energy, where we can direct our emotions to, all right? So really good message in that, all right? So again, that's one of the reasons why we think of Cancer as being so strong, because it has the capability of knowing how it feels and going in that direction, right? So that's how we kick off the summer season. We kick it off in cardinal waters. And again, it's summertime, right? So just think about the natures. It's hot as hell outside. What you want to do? Go swimming? Okay. Cancer, again, has leadership capabilities. With Cancer, we're talking about leading emotions, and Cancer rules the fourth house, the house of the home, right? So these are like the natural mothers of the universe. And you might be a male too, but again, this ain't about female or males, like that kind of energy, right? Just wherever Cancer is showing up in your birth chart or in your life or in your transit, here is the leadership in nurturing what you want to see grow. Okay, I'm gonna close out summertime, child, because I don't want to spend too long on these signs. But the next cardinal sign that we see kicking off each season, we got Libra for fall. Yeah, my Libras. Go Libras. I love some Libra energy, child. Okay. Like I said, my moon is in Libra. Okay. So here, beginning fall, we have directional, again, cardinal energy, directional air. Libra is an air sign, right? So what is Source telling us? When we go into the fall, again, we're talking about the temperaments of nature. We kicked out spring. We knew where we were headed. We knew the fire direction. We knew where to take our action. Then when we kicked off summer, all right, we knew how we felt. So now as we go into fall and we're approaching the decline of the sun, you better think about it. Be prepared, all right? We are thinking about getting ourselves in order, getting our partnerships, okay? Libra rules house of partnerships, all right? Getting our associations in order as we go into this fall season. Because think about this, when it get cold outside, all right, what you trying to do? Get booed up. Girl. No. No cap. I had a dude. He broke up with my ass in spring. No cap. This happened about 2-3 years in a row. But, every springtime, we like, I've been so good to you. Why would you want to break up? You know what I'm saying? Got me in my feelings. Just to have his ass back around Libra time. When it got cold. So back to this Libra tea, because I ain't gonna tell y'all of mine. With Libra, we're thinking about associations. We are thinking about partnerships, how we relate to other people. Again, it's about to be cold outside, right? Our ancestors, right? When it began to get cold out, they were communicating. Again, air being a kind of a communication sign too. They are communicating with other people, right? Well, what you've been growing in the spring. Well, what kind of, fruits that you have for the summertime, right? So now that we're towards the harvest of fall season, kicking it off, we can communicate. We can begin to share with others, right? We can see how I can benefit you, how you can benefit me. These are all things that Libra's trying to talk about and trying to find the balance in that, right? And we just want to be prepared for the elements that are outside, right? So that's the nature that's going on, right? So that's why the people are kind of in that type of vibe. You see what I'm saying? Y'all my people. All right. And think about Libra energy too. Libra is about balancing thoughts. Okay. Now we get a lot of thoughts. I ain't the only one. Okay. And with those thoughts, we have to put them in order. Basically just finding the place for where this fits and where that fits. So Libra's always trying to balance out those scales, right? This is why a lot of Libra energy Libra energy is associated with judges, right? Because they know how to be balanced, all right? So again, leadership qualities, leading in thought. Then we close out the cardinal energy in our cardinal sign of Capricorn for the winter. Okay. Now, I like me some Capricorns, okay? Again, I ain't gonna tell y'all all my tea. But Capricorn energy, I don't have a lot of it in my chart, like naturally, but it does rule my 7th house, right? Or it falls in my 7th house, I'll say that. So there's kind of like this vibe for me when it comes to how I relate in partnerships. I kind of think about it like in the sense of business, right? Because Capricorn's energy is about that work. And then I'm like, go. It's about that work, okay? And it's cardinal energy, right? So directional building, because it's an earth sign. Makes sense, right? When we're kicking off wintertime, it's the coldest time of the year. We don't have as much sun of all the other seasons. So when it was sunny outside, right, you wanted to go hang out with so-and-so. You had to catch up with old girl. Friends came in from out of town, were visiting, right? We have a lot of energy because of the sun. It's cold as hell outside in Capricorn season. The only thing I'm trying to do is work. Because that's what I gotta do. You see what I'm saying? We're kind of working with a reserve of that heat, a reserve of that natural fire element that we get from the sun. So now, because we're in reserve mode, we're just kind of focused about work. All right, it's cold as fuck outside. What you trying to do? Because I ain't, okay? But then, now some of us like this kind of temperature. I'm from the South, and I just, I really, really like it when it's warm out, when you don't have to prepare as much to go outside. You see what I'm saying? It takes work just to even go outside. You can't just run to the mailbox in the middle of winter. You know what I'm saying? The temperature in your house is hell of a lot different from what it is outside. So you have to be prepared. You got to put a little bit of extra work into doing many of the things that you would normally do a lot easier when it was sun out, okay? So again, Capricorn is cardinal directional energy, okay? Directional building, all right? So that is going to be the cardinal signs as we close out. Again, cardinal energy, when we're talking about the natural natures of things, okay, and astrology, just the natural natures of things, though, cardinal is showing us the direction that we can take things into, okay? These are our leaders, all right? I know a couple, they're both Aries, and the way that they do things and they can just kick shit off, they make it seem so seamless, y'all. You know what I mean? But that's that Aries energy working through them. Cancer, again, leading emotions, what they lead the home, the mothers of the community, right? Then we have the leadership energy expressed in Libra, right? The air sign thought, our judges, right? Those kind of officials. And then finally, the leadership and work with Capricorn, okay? So again, the cardinal theme of when we kick off our natures is leading. All right, so that wraps up cardinal energy. Hopefully that made a little bit more practical sense, all right? So let's kick off our first fixed season of spring, okay? Gonna go ahead and get into these fixed energies, all right? So now when we're talking about the fixed energies of nature, what are we saying, okay? Well, this is when spring really feel like spring, okay? When summer really feel like the summertime. Depending on where you are in the world, these temperatures are going to feel different, but I'm just talking about the natures of things, right? So as we go into the natures of those seasons, when we're in the middle, in that pocket in the middle, we're feeling more of the consistency of the temperatures of that current nature, right? Taurus season is kicked in, right? We're at the end of April, heavy into May, right? It's spring. Those temperatures are more consistent, okay? So that's kind of how the nature of that works. Now, when I think about Taurus energy, all right, again, speaking to the astrology about being fixated. Well, why is Taurus fixated? Well, shit, because it know what it know. Okay, it know it's springtime. Aries ass had to find direction, all right? We had to wait for things to heat up. Now we've gotten into that consistent pocket of spring, so it's fixated there, all right? The temperatures are going to be more fixated for the natural, for what you would expect, rather, for springtime, okay? Also, Taurus, when it comes to astrology, it's influenced or rules the second house, the house of values, okay? So think about this. We sprung off into action. We knew where we were focused at, right? The next sign that we see is a fixed sign. And this is generally how it works in life. Now, after I found what direction I want to go into, I'm fixated on it. You ever been involved in something new? And you can just get lost in doing it, right? The time just goes nowhere. You're enjoying what you do so much. You value what you do so much that it's just natural to continue to build in that energy, right? So again, Taurus is our earth sign. So we're talking about building value here, okay? Fixated consistently, okay? Stubbornly, all right? All the things we want to talk about. I love y'all, Taurus, okay? My mom's a Taurus. Shout out to the Taurus, okay? But, we tend to think about the people in this energy and just the events and the times, like things are kind of fixed in that particular modality. We know we're consistent with that temperament, okay? So that's our first fixed sign. Next up, a fixed sign that we have, that is going to be the kickoff, not the kickoff, I'm sorry, but that mid-time season of summer, okay? So in the summertime, this is interesting because we get Leo. Okay, makes sense though, because Leo is a fire sign, okay? Ruled by the sun, okay? And what are we doing in the summertime? We're experiencing the most sun, right? So Leo is fixated in his summertime position. Leo also rules the heart, right? So these energies tend to, okay, when we're in the middle of summer, right? We're kind of in the thick of it. We're in the middle of summer. Summer love, you know what I mean? Summer days, okay? It's on, y'all, okay? Everybody looking good. We can see our body. We can see so much of ourselves, right? We're showing so much off. We're in the sun. You see what I'm saying? So quite naturally, more attraction goes on. You know what I mean? People do tend to kind of fall in love around this time of year. But that being said, this energy can definitely translate into a lot of passion, all right? A lot of action, a lot of fixated passion at that. So here in Leo, we're talking about fixed fire, fixed action, okay? What I love. This what I love, y'all. This my heart, y'all. You see what I'm saying? It's fixated in that nature. We're right in the middle of summer. We in August, so it's hot. Okay, depending on where you are in the world, but it be hot down here. Okay, so that heat up is naturally going to occur, of course, when we think about the natures in the middle of the summer. And we have that same translation in the astrology when it comes to Leo. Okay, so when we see our next fixed sign is Scorpio. Scorpio is going to be fixed water. And we see this in the middle of fall. Okay, so again, thinking about the fall, right? We're declining in those warmer temperatures from the sun. The days are shorter, right? And in the middle of that fall season, so when we were kicking off fall, we saw Libra. Libra kicked off our fall season in that cardinal air, taking us into the direction of our thoughts, right? So now that we've been thinking, we're going deeper. Okay, with Scorpio deep ass, all right? Scorpio is really fixed in those emotions, right? Scorpio also has this, it's the fixed water sign. So before we saw the cardinal water sign, okay, of Cancer showing direction of emotions, right? Now think about this. When you start to swim out into those emotional waters, you're just swimming, right? What happens? You end up going deeper, right? If you're like at a lake or like a big body of water, as you swim out into those waters, you go deeper, right? So we're taking our emotions deep when we think about Scorpio energy, right? Think about what's happening with society too, okay? So this is going to be November, right? And October, November. What's one of those holidays that goes down in November? Thanksgiving, right? Where we give deep reverence for all the things that we're thankful for, okay? And show grace, y'all. Show grace. The universe loves when we show grace, okay? But here, we're reminded as a society, we're giving thanks. We're showing appreciation. We're giving a deep emotional bond with our neighbors, okay? Folks that we ain't never spoke to. You know, it's it's just like a whole different kind of vibe around Thanksgiving. I actually love this time of year. I love the spirit of people when we're in that type of energy, okay? It's just a beautiful thing. So again, here with Scorpio, we're getting cooler temps, okay? Now we got to bring the jackets out. All right. We know it is fixed fall time, where it was again in the beginning of fall, like Libra time, because even down here in the South, there are some days where, you know, October, you might still be able to get away with shorts and stuff like that, but November, you didn't get your whole wardrobe pulled out, okay? You calling cuz where my jacket at? You bought it last year, and I know you didn't get that back. No, you did. You're trying to collect all your things, right? You're fixated. You're going to be ready for the temperatures ahead because you know that winter's coming, right? So here we are, again, fixating on what's around us for the fall. We know that the temperatures are cooler. We're getting those things more consistent for the cold that's coming ahead. All right. So that's going to be fixated fall with Scorpio. And then our last fixated sign is going to be what that is, girl. Oh yeah, Aquarius. I love it. I love me some Aquarius energy, and I'm going to tell you about it in a minute, okay? So, last fixed sign, all right, we see is going to be in our winter season. Again, every season, once you kind of get in the middle, in the thick of it, right, you're getting the consistency of those temperatures, right? So, in the middle of winter, all right, it's cold. It's cold as hell. Okay, it's just not a whole lot of warmth to work with because we're so far away from the sun. And interestingly enough, don't we associate Aquarius with kind of being a detached type sign? You know what I mean? It lacks warmth. Okay, They just say what the fuck. They don't care about how you feel. Okay, it's not warm, and it's not like, Leo, which is its opposite sign, right? Also, Leo is the opposite of Aquarius, but Leo is like big and warm-hearted, and oh man, you know what I mean. Aquarius, like, it's cold as fuck outside. Fuck you won't. Okay. And it reserves the right to be, right? Because it's fixated air. Also, with fixated air, again, think about air, right? You get a lot of thoughts, right? They come, you got to balance them out. But here, Aquarius has the element of thought where it's like, look, I done thought about everything new under the sun, okay? And after I done considered everybody else, I don't give a fuck. This how I think, and that's what I'm going to do. Whoop the bam. Okay. So again, it's still thinking about people. It's a humanitarian now. Okay. It's just cold as fuck outside. It's like, really, what is we doing? I don't mind fucking with you, but I just gotta know that this is something that I'm gonna be into, because if it ain't, let's cut it. Okay. And that's that energy that you get from Aquarius. I love Aquarius energy. I can't stop talking about that. One of my best friends in Aquarius, my brother's in Aquarius, I got a couple nephews that are Aquarius, my grandmama. Okay. All tea. No shade. Grandma didn't have no problem. Okay, if she ain't like your ass, you knew about it. All right. And think about some of these other air energies. Libra, indecisive. Again, it's trying to find the balance, right? But with Aquarius, we found it. It's fixated in its temperaments because it knows it's cold outside. It knows the current climate and environment, and it can also see because it's been contemplating with these thoughts. It's a visionary, okay? So it's fixated. So again, with all of the fixated signs, you are going to get consistent. You're going to get devout energy, okay? You're going to get loyal energy, all right? Think about a Taurus. Taurus is known to be a very, very loyal sign, right? Because it's thinking about what it values. Leo is also known to be a very devout, loyal sign. It's the heart, right? That's on my heart. On my heart, dog. Know what I mean? It's got that type of energy. Scorpio is deep emotions. Okay, so once it feel what it feel, child, that's it. It's passionate. It might even be a little possessive. Okay, and think about Aquarius. Now, Aquarius is probably about the only one that ain't so damn. It's fixated now, but it's not so attached because it's still air. You know what I'm saying? But that being said, fixed energy again, all in the middle of our seasons. All right. These are all the middle temperaments. So we know that everything is consistent with that season. All right. It's going to be consistent temperatures of that season. So as we go into our last modality, all right, this is where the seasons end. Okay. Mutable energy. All right. This is where we end our seasons. We are coming to the closeout, right? Now, this is what I think about mutables all day. Again, I got that mutable Virgo sun. But when I think about the seasons of that time, right, when we're towards the end of spring and the end of summer and all that, whatever, those seasons tend to feel like the next season. We know that end of school kicks off summer. And for a lot of us, summer ends with the school session, right? Schools are kind of closing out around June. And technically, the June is still considered, most of June, we're in the spring season, but it feels like summer because everybody's out for summer break, right? June, especially down south, it's warm out here, okay? So by the end of June, or maybe even when you're up north, because when you kick off spring, it's still cool days out, so you may still need a jacket for a lot of those outdoor activities. Where once we're into June, it's feeling like summer. It feels like summer. All right, we're on those vibes where we know the change is coming for us to go into the next season. All right, so let's kick it off with Gemini. Gemini kicks off the end of our spring cycle. So here we have mutable air, flexible as thoughts. Okay. Again, when we go into those cycles, we kick out, we start out in cardinal energy, we fixate it, and then we change, right? Just think about the natural cycles of building something. Once you fixated on something for so long, you want to change it up a little bit. You might even do parts of that thing, but then do something else different with the other remainder of your time, right? So you kind of need a little bit of change just to kind of help the rhythm. So Gemini has that flexibility that we need with our thoughts. So now, everything is new. We're thinking about it. We're kind of getting our thoughts and everything of what we kind of were inspired about in Aries, what we chose to build up on more in Taurus. Now we can think about it, okay? Now we can talk about it with some people, all right? Gemini is known for being that communicative, air type energy, okay? And it's the first air sign that you see. It closes out the springtime, but it's the first air sign that you see. And again, it rules thoughts. So we get a lot of thoughts. And you might think about a pink blouse. Then for some reason, because you thought about that pink blouse, that's the one that your auntie wanted to wear, and she's going to be cooking today. And you want to go over your auntie house to cook because you always know that she put extra butter on her cornbread, right? But then you start to think about the butter on the cornbread and how you need to lose 12 pounds. You see what I'm saying? These thoughts just come and come and come and come. It's more of a randomness when they come because it's flexible thoughts, all right? It's not necessarily focused on any particular energy, all right? It's just flexible, and it's cool like that. I'm cool like that. I flow like that. I do like that. You know, it's with that energy. Hey, it's just completely flexible because it feels a little bit like spring and summer. So it has the capability of being flexible, okay? So that closes out our spring season in mutable Gemini. Now, when we think about our next season of summer, we close that out in Virgo, okay? Virgo is a summer season, y'all. I know. I'm a Virgo. By the time we're thinking about the fall, right? So again, this time of year doesn't always necessarily feel like summer. We don't always associate summer with September. You know what I mean? I'm thinking like fall leaves and stuff like that. So again, the mutable seasons tend to kind of feel like the next season more than like their actual season, right? It's just kind of mutable, okay? It's preparing you for the change, okay? So if it feels like summer, it's great. You're like, yay, it's nice outside, you know? And if it feels cool, we okay with that too, because we know that we're going into the fall. You're more flexible with that temperament because you weren't expecting it to be, you know, a hot summer day to begin with. You were kind of flexible with it. This is mutable earth. So this is mutable building blocks, okay? Virgo is all about I analyze. I've taken all that data in, okay? Now I've got to be flexible with what I build, how efficient I use my time and my resources into manifesting what I want. Virgo has that capability to do that coming out of those other energies. It's flexible, okay? It's closing down the summertime, right? So that's that Virgo quality, the mutable earth, the time that once we build something, okay, we can go in, look at it, tweak it, and make it perfect. Now, going into our next season, we have mutable fall time, which is Sagittarius, right? So this is like the end of November, beginning of December, okay? Think about any calendar that you see, any school calendar, right? If you see December, or on most calendars, you're going to see some snow, okay? You're going to see a snowman, all right? You're going to see all the things we associate with the winter time, right? Because it's our last fall season, but we know we're going into winter, so it's that mutable energy, right? And here we have mutable fire, okay? We had directional fire, then we had fixed fire. We knew where we were headed. We knew what we could fixate with our passions, right? And now we're mutable. Now we got a higher understanding of things. Here, we know that we can be flexible with what we focus on. All right? I took a direction now. I got fixated on that direction, and now I might need to kind of change it up a bit, right? So that path might be the best path that is going on, okay? And it might not, but with this mutable energy, this flexibility of our focus, right? We can decide then where we want to take those energies. And again, mutable wintertime, okay? I said mutable wintertime. You see what I'm saying? It's not wintertime, it's fall, but mutable fall season, okay? We're heading into the winter. I need to have a higher understanding and a higher learning of what I put my focus on, right? So that it can carry me through the rest of the winter season. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so those are the natures of Sagittarius energy, closing out the fall season. And then going into the last of our mutable signs, which is going to be mutable waters. All right. This is going to be wintertime. Wintertime, the waters, right? And also, this is the last of our zodiacs. Okay. 12th house energy. All right. Endings, completions, right? We think about karmas, right? And what's the thing about a lot of these things? They're mutable. You might have a happy ending. You might be sad that some shit ended. Okay. You may be cool with your karma. You may be like, this some bullshit. I don't deserve this. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be flexible though either way, because this has been a journey and you have seen a lot of things on the journey. If you went through the whole cycle, right? You ended up in Pisces. Now, all the things that you've taken with you on the journey, though you got feelings too, okay? Pick up them feelings, okay? Because they came right along with you. So pick them up here. Now we can be flexible with how we feel, okay? And that's a beautiful thing. I feel like Spirit right here is just saying, yo, I've had some good days, okay? And I've had some weary nights. It's all right, though. Pisces said, it's okay, boo-boo. It's all right. We can be flexible with those emotions, because I'm here. Okay, we got the last of the water signs. We got the last of the signs anyway, child. But we got the last of the water signs. So we started out in that strong ass cardinal water with Cancer. I direct my emotions. I know where I'm headed, right? Then we went deep with Scorpio ass, okay? Now we get a chance to go mutable. We can go deeper if we wanted to, or we could change that direction. You see what I'm saying with the emotions, all right? So again, you've got control over all of how you feel. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. It gives you so much power once you can, process that. I mean, because real talk, I ain't gonna lie, I think that's part of the problems of the world, is that people let other folks run them and how they fucking feel. All right, I don't know who needs to hear that, but don't let nobody run you into how the fuck you feel, okay? Don't let nobody run you into feeling like you need to do some shit that you're not supposed to be doing, that you know you ain't supposed to be doing, all right? You take the direction on how you feel. And if you choose to go deeper with how you feel, just so that you can combat whatever the fuck somebody trying to put on you, okay? Be mutable at the end of that with knowing, okay, I done came out of them deep feelings, all right? I still feel how the fuck I feel, okay? But honestly, I feel okay with the way this person feels too. I'm flexible with all this shit, because when it come full circle, I done felt what I felt and I know how I feel using Cancer's energy, and I done went deep with it in Scorpio energy. And now in this mutable place, in this flexible place, I'm all right, because you can't make me do shit I ain't gonna do. Hello, okay? So mutable waters are just trying to convince us, or remind us rather, that we're totally fine with reserving the right to just, feel how we feel. Pisces are known to be moody. Shit, I got a Pisces cousin, moody as fuck. Love him, but he moody as fuck. Okay, love you, cuz. But that's that energy of kind of flexible emotions. We can take those emotional waters anywhere that we decide to go to. And that's generally how we feel about the end of a story. Okay? Again, we've ended this story, y'all. We at that 12th sign. So I felt great about the journey on parts. I felt sad about the journey in parts, right? But ultimately, it was the journey, and I came full circle, okay out of it, and better, because I graduated with things that I hadn't experienced before. And hopefully, you feel the same way about this content, child. I hope you came out better, okay? Because again, we're going to talk about just the natures, just the modalities of these energies in astrology and how they correlate to the natures that we're experiencing, right? Now, why is any of this shit important? Well, I'm glad you asked. Okay, again, we're talking about just the modalities: cardinal energy, fixed energy, and mutable energy, all right? So whenever we're starting out our projects, we begin with a focus, right? We know the direction that we're going to go into, right? Then we tend to get fixated on that focus because we want to nurture it more. And finally, we're hit with the changes, right? Where we may want to change up some things about what we've been focusing on to take it further. All right. And that's just the cycle of life, y'all. You know what I mean? I ain't saying shit that we don't already do. Like, you do this anyway. You know what I'm saying? But when you think about it, especially with the energies and how they work, it just may help you kind of unlock a little bit, a few more keys to the manifestation game, okay? Because everybody talking about manifesting. So real talk, okay? Okay, let me use this as an example. I talked about my T a little bit. I'm a Virgo sun, all right? So that's that mutable energy. When it comes to me kicking shit off, like in cardinal energy, again, I can overthink it. I can go back and forth and everything like that. And sometimes when you overthink, you can just make yourself exhausted. You be tired as hell. Like, what the fuck I'm so tired for? You know what I mean? Because you sat there and been thinking and you ain't did shit, okay? So again, that's that kind of mutable energy playing out in a cardinal-like way. So Now, think about the seasons of life too, y'all. Okay, everybody's got a different season. That's what they always say. Like, that's her season. It's his season this year. You know what I'm saying? So you start out the season knowing the direction that you're going into with your project. Then you get fixated on that project, right? And then whatever changes you have along that transformation in that project, right? People are seeing it. And knowing how to use those energies. Again, okay, so let's say you at the fixated part of your project, right? Where you're supposed to be fixated on it, right? And then you want to change direction. Sometimes it's kind of hard once you've built a certain amount of momentum in that project, right? You can't just stop. It's almost like you got to keep going to see it to the end before you can change direction with it, right? Okay, let's say we're in the season. Okay, for instance, I have a friend that had addiction to a particular thing, right? And you can see the direction that the person was going into, right? You can see where they were headed. And then you kind of saw them get fixated in that energy, right? And man, when they were going through the fixation, a lot of things were happening. And towards the end of that cycle, right, they went through a whole bunch of changes because of that addiction. So they went through all the cycles, and it's time to close that cycle out, right? Now they can choose if they want to stay on the direction with that, get even more fixated with that, and go through even more changes because of that, right? You see what I'm saying? And here's the thing too, when you think about people who have addictions, right? A lot of that cardinal modality is just fixated. Because what you're saying to yourself is like, I can't live without this. I need this on a consistent basis. I'm fixated. Now, again, we know that nature changes, right? But if you're looking at one thing just in a state of always being fixated on it, like for me, it's pie. Okay, I like pie. If they had a breakfast pie, I had that. You know what I'm saying? For instance, quiche. I like quiche. I just like pie things. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I mean, quiche ain't really a pie, but anywho, I'm just saying my thing, my Achilles right now is food, y'all. I like food, okay? But if I'm fixated in certain temperaments with what I put into my body, you know what I mean? I just have to be careful with that, because it might be a season for change, all right? It might be a season to go in a new direction and not get so fixated on the pie. You know what I mean? It might be time to like add more veggies and things like that to my diet. Do you see what I'm saying? But again, if somebody's working in that fixated season, you can't bring no cardinal shit to them. You can't put them in a new direction. This is what I want. Shit. Tell somebody who fixated on something that they can't have what they want. They gonna find it, okay? Human motivation is a motherfucker, all right? But that being said, when a person's fixated on some things, like a person with maybe a bad addiction, right? Maybe it really is a season for change. Maybe they took off in a bad direction, right? And they got fixated in this bad place, right? Them themselves know that when it's a time for them to change, right? You know what I'm saying? But you can't force a change on them. They might still be fixated. It might even be changes are going on around them. They might even be in the modality of change, right? And still choose to be on the direction of that path, right? All right. It's really up to them, for them to allow those changes to come in. All right. But whatever season that you're at, all right, just know with grace, I love you. All right. And understanding these seasons together, we'll get through things together. We're not out here by ourselves. Okay. God didn't leave us out here by ourselves. God left us nature. God left us the ability to understand that if we went through a process and we've seen some things on the process and it comes back around from that process, then we can learn from that. Okay. We can learn how to perfect ourselves if we're in that Virgo energy, right? We can learn how to, balance our thoughts, you know what I'm saying? Or change or be flexible with our thoughts if we're in that Gemini energy, all right? We can learn how to be flexible with our focus, all right? With the Sagittarius energy. We can learn how to be flexible with our emotions with Pisces energy. You see what I'm saying? And the same thing with directions. You can either take out in direction in your cardinal fire, okay? You can take out in direction with your emotional waters, with how you feel about things with Cancer, right? So again, okay, I'm not gonna go through the whole thing, chat, because I'm keeping us here too long if I do that. But you can use these influences, these energies, in order to make changes in your life, and it's a beautiful thing. All right. So I think that's it. I think that's all I got, y'all. We made it. Woohoo! All right. And if you enjoy this type of content, please come back. I would love to see you here. Okay. I'm Valchemy Alchemy. And until the next time, you guys take care.